Hey y'all, we're gonna open up a box of Ikoria. We're recording this video, not streaming, because I haven't fully figured out the setup for streaming. So I'll do that before the next box, I guess, which I guess is either Zendikar or Double Masters. I don't know yet. With the box of Ikoria, we got the buy box promo, the Godzilla slash Zilortha. Shiny, shiny. Okay. Now, I'm still on my fingernails. Because luckily I have a regular nail here. Seems much more useful than fingernails, to be fair. You can't put up paintings with fingernails. I don't know, nonsense, right? Okay, let's get straight into this. So we have one Ikoria box topper. We can do that last, I guess. It's much more fun that way. Get right into them. I don't know what order they are, so we'll go through the first. We'll go through the commons in the first couple packs. I guess we know what order it is, because here you go. I'm not super familiar with the set. I've played a little bit on Arena, but was kind of just waiting to get these boxes. Vulpikeet. All this mutating. I hear positive things about mutate. We got cycling as well as big in this set. The Forever Beast. Never good. There's a majestic Auricorn. A mutated unicorn. Ah, skipping ahead. Zenith Flare. Zirda, the Dawnbringer. The first rare, companion rare. Let's get some sort of order, hey? Commons. Uncommons. Zirda, land. I don't know if these are, if we get Arena something useful or not. Void Beckoner as our first foil, uncommon. I did not buy I always get one box for my collection. I did not buy a third box for drafting, seeing as Corona's not quite allowing that. But I look forward to drafting it in paper as soon as we're allowed to, right? As soon as things allow, right? Nightmare Squirrel. There's some serious creature types in this. Foxbird art is pretty sweet. Okay. And our uncommons, Exuberant Wolf Bear. Whenever it attacks, you may change the base power and toughness of a target human you control to its power and toughness. Polywog Symbiote. Each creature spell you cast costs one less to cast if it has mutate. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if it has mutate, draw a card and discard a card. Bad. Alert Heedbonder. 2/4 Vigilance. At your end step, you gain 1 life for each creature you control with Vigilance. We also have the introduction of the counters, Vigilance counters and things like that, which permanently giving creatures abilities, which is pretty sweet. It's our first Triome. Jeskai Triome. Cycling, enters the battlefield tapped. Sorry about that. There we are. Pretty cool. I mean, arguably, it's kind of always been a thing. Ish. Like a... I don't know. It seems obvious. It's good anyway. So... Cathartic Reunion reprint. Humble Naturalist. Migratory Greatthorn. Adaptive Shimmer is cool. I like the... I remember seeing the spoiler for this. I like the colorless creatures. In the spoiler season, it gave a little... There was a theory that we were going to get some Eldrazi in here, given that they'd already had some colorless. Was not the case, sadly. So Escape Protocol. Whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 1. If you do, exile target artifact or creature you control, then return it back to into the battlefield. That can get nasty quick. Insatiable Hemorrhage. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Skull Prophet. Tap for green or black, or to mill 2. And a rare Offspring's Revenge. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile target white, red, or black creature card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that, except it's 1/1 and has haste. Companion area. I didn't know we needed an area for that. But apparently we do. Pyroceratops. Mysterious Egg. Whenever it mutates, put a +1 counter on it. Gotta love the eggs. Oh man, that's amazing. So, at common, here's our first alt art. Cavern Whisper. Mutate for black 3. 4/4 Menace. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. Zaggoth Crystal is a cycling Triome Mana Rock. Wingspan Mentor gives flying counters. Mystic Subdual. Enchanted creature loses all abilities. It's mean. There's an ultimatum. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. And it only costs black, black, red, red, white, white, white. A nice pauper land. Let's put those there. More counters. Let's go. Start to read a little quicker through the commons. We're going to stop at, I don't know, random things that catch my eye, right? So, there's another Mana Rock for us. Frillscare Mentor. When it enters the battlefield, put a menace counter on target non-human you control. And then you can add counters to things with menace on them. Porcaparrot, Bird Beast. Mutate. Tap. This creature deals X damage to any target when that X is the number of times it's mutated. An Eerie Ultimatum. Return any number of permanent cards with different names from the graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty amazing. Or could be pretty amazing. I love the, I remember someone talking about an ultimatum deck that was just piles of those with Fires of Invention. I guess just hope that you don't get them early. I don't know. And a foil Almighty Brushwag. Curious if there's a different slot for the for the alt art. It was the last common in my box in the other pack. So this again is the... No, it's not. I guess it looks like you gotta look through them. They can just be randomly in there. There's a Vulpikeet, a foxbird. More common. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instants or sorcery cards in your graveyard. If it would die, exile it. That's pretty good for a red one. It's gonna live in some Is It deck. Monster Step, target creature gets +7/+7 till end of turn. Up to one other target creature blocks it if able with cycling. Only sorcery is on instant, but oh well. Flame Spill, deal 4 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. So, instant with trample, kinda. So, we got another companion. Karugu the Macro Sage. Companion, if your starting deck contains only cards with converted mana 3 or greater and land cards, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana 3 or more. It's pretty good. They still need to kind of find an answer. Scar Barons. They still need to kind of find an answer for Companion, which they've already said they might have to actually change, do a rules errata or a functional errata, which they kind of don't like to do. But Soldier, Swamp. Let's go to the commons. Rooting Moloch. When enters the battlefield, excellent target card with a cycle ability from your graveyard. Till end of turn, you may play that card. It also has cycling. Parcel Beast. Mutate. 1 tap, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put the card on the battlefield, put it in your hand. That's pretty good. Sanctuary Smasher. When you cycle, or 6/4 first strike, when you cycle it, put a first strike counter on target you control. There's our first mythic? Is that the first? Yeah. Hold on. Winota, Joiner of Forces. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human card from them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible till end of turn. Put the rest of the cards at the bottom of your library in any order. That's pretty amazing. We have a special guest, Hody. He's skulking about, trying to get in all up in our business. We got an Avian Oddity. Again, another seemingly standard model, I guess. It's a flying creature that you can cycle to give something a flying counter. Mutate Lord Drakus, 2/3. Whenever this card mutates, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Grim Dancer enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 counters on it. Menace, Death Touch, Lifelink. Or Lifelink, and it's 3/3. And then we got a Crystalline Giant. At the beginning of combat, or it's 3 for a 3/3. At the beginning of combat, choose a kind of counter at random that Crystalline Giant doesn't have from amongst a pile of abilities. Put a counter on it of that kind. This is also interesting because there's an old, I don't know, from the Microprose Magic game, some Jaguar or something it was this randomization, and they always said this card could not be made in paper. It's kind of a mistake. They couldn't make it in paper because or some of these, the randomization wasn't a thing, right? So now clearly this is a randomization. I don't know what their suggested way of randomizing is. Of course, we could just put them in a hat and pick one, but wasn't supposed to see that, but I already did. Adaptive Shimmer in foil. That's a pretty good looking foil. I wonder if the alt arts have foil. Run through the commons. Oh, keep spoiling. Stormwild Caprador, Bird Goat. If non-combat damage should be done to it, prevent it, and put a +1 counter on each for preventing it. That's pretty amazing. Or for each damage prevented. That's actually, that reminds me a little bit of, I don't know, there's an angel. It's in my core deck. Yeah, so Glowstone Recluse. The same, we get our, when it mutates, we put some counters on it. Really nice, nice alt art. Back for more. Return target creature card from your graveyard up to the battlefield and fight. Frontland Falador. It's a 3/5 vigilance. Creatures you have with vigilance, or you control with vigilance, have 1 tap target creature. Pretty good if you're making a vigilance deck. Guess that's a lot more possible with the counters. Farfinder. Big fan of searching for lands. So Migration Path. Search for up to 2 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Shuffle your library. Cycle 2. That's a pretty good deal. Triumph Crystal. Proud Wildbonder. 4/3 Trample. Creatures you control with Trample have... You may have this creature assign its combat damage as if it weren't blocked. And then we have a Jungle Hollow. A Sea Dasher Octopus is our rare. 2/2 Mutate, Flash, and whenever a creature card deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Or whenever this creature deals combat damage. Pretty good. Less good than I first read it. But the ability to give that to something is still pretty good. Evolving Wilds, because what would a set be without Evolving Wilds, hey? Need new art, right? 1/1 Mamba. When it mutates, it becomes removal. That's not bad. Barrier Breach. Exile up to 3 target enchantments with cycling. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1 counter on this. It's 1/1 Flying Haste for blue-red. Pretty good as well. Extinction Event. Black 3. Choose odd or even. Exile each creature with converted mana cost of the chosen value. 0's even. That's pretty sweet. Right. I wonder if there's a... Yeah, I mean, you could kind of, on the same idea of of companions, right? You could kind of build around that and make some uneven board wipes for that. Counters. Reptilian Reflection. Whenever you cycle a card, you may have it become 5/4 dinosaur with trample and haste until end of turn. Void Beckoner. Whenever you cycle Void Beckoner, put a death touch counter on target creature control. We actually got a foil one of those earlier. Pouncing Shore Shark. That's some arms. 4/3 Flash. Whenever this creature mutates, you may return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. For our rare. Whirlwind of Thought. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Very just guy. Jungle Hollow. I feel like Flo has a deck for that. Okay. There's a Narset Emblem. Maybe that means we get Narset. Burn through the commons. Call the Death Roller. Return up to 2 target creature cards with a total converted mana cost of 3 or less to the graveyard of the battlefield. Put a death touch counter on one and menace on the other. That's pretty sweet. Heartless Act. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. That's sad that it doesn't touch planeswalkers, right? But Primal Empathy. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power amongst creatures on the battlefield. Otherwise, put up +1. So kind of a faux evolve. And here's our Narset to go with that emblem. It's not a Narset. Titan's Wrath. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card in your graveyard. You can exile a card from the graveyard to add colorless, and you can only spend it to cast a colored spell without X in its mana cost. So that's kind of a... Oh, but you can exile as many as you want, so that's interesting. The forest. Oops. I mean, there's got to be at least a Narset in here, right? They wouldn't give us a emblem without something to go with it, I guess. I mean, never. No. Dreamtail Heron. Nothing special, but great art. Swallow Hole has an additional cost to cast a spell. Tap and untap creature control. Exile target tapped creature. Put some counter on the creature you tapped. And that's pretty good. For a single white, no, it'd be better at instant speed, but that's pretty good. Ooh, there's another unicorn. There's 2 unicorns in this set. Yeah, cycling for a lifelink. That's a Skull Prophet. We already got one of them. Ooh, and there's an Alt Art Sea Dasher Octopus to go with the other one. Meow. Saw something. I don't know what it is, but the border didn't look right. Yeah, so Boon of the Wishgiver, draw 4 cards with cycling. It's a bit expensive, but cycling kind of balances that out. Zenith Flare we've seen. Auspicious Starks. Whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Put those permanents on the battlefield. That's pretty amazing. You can burn through your deck pretty quick, though. Ooh! Wow, that's what I saw. Mythic number 2. 6/6 Mutate Flying Trample. Whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent. Put that card onto the battlefield or into your hand. It's pretty good. I don't know when that lives. So 2 mythics, about halfway through the box. Nice handful of alt arts, which is pretty cool. Weaponize the monsters. 2 sacrifice creature, deal 2 damage. Not bad. Duskfang Mentor. When Duskfang Mentor enters the battlefield, put a lifelink counter on a target non-human you control. And you can put +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with lifelink. I think we saw that before, or maybe we saw something very similar with a different ability. Not sure. Cunning Nightbonder. 2/2 Flash. Spells with Flash cost you 1 less and can't be countered. There's a new companion. Jagantha the Wellspringer. So companion and tap to add 1 of each color mana. That mana cannot be spent to pay a generic mana cost. The companion is requirement is no card in your starting deck starting deck has more than one of the same mana symbol in its casting cost. So that's kind of interesting. That doesn't sound super difficult. Though arguably that's kind of the problem with Commander, right? Or with Companions, right? Reconnaissance mission. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. There's another crystal. Porca Parrot in alt art. And Hunted Nightmare. When Hunted Nightmare enters the battlefield, target opponent puts a death touch counter on a creature they control. It's no good, but for black 1 for a 4/5 menace, I'll take it. I'm gonna take a drink. So, Ivy Elemental. It's enters the battlefield XX. Let's get Protocol again. Hollywog Symbiote. Each creature spell you cast costs 1 less to cast if it is mutate. Oh yeah, and then if you cast it with mutate, to draw a card and discard a card. Mythos of Illuna is our rare. Scholar Parents. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent. If red-green was spent to cast a spell, instead create a token that's a copy of the permanent, except that token has, when this permanent enters the battlefield, if it's a creature, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. That's... I mean, blue 2 for any permanent copying is pretty awesome. I don't think that the red-green benefit there isn't huge, but... I mean, if you're going to pay it anyway, then it's nice to get that little bonus. Void Beckoner. Trumpeting Gnar. When it mutates, we create a 3/3 elk. I mean, beast. Trampling Lightning Bolt again. Colossification. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +20/+20. As an enchantment. Ridiculous. Got a foil? Oh, foil planes. Nice looking planes. Common. There. Reptilian Reflection. Channeled Force. At an additional cost to cast a spell, discard X cards. Target player draws X cards. Channeled Force deals X damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. That's pretty good. Auspicious Star X. Whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanents. Put those permanents in play. I think we have that, but pretty good. Hey, there's our Narset to go with our emblem. Narset of the Ancient Way. Costs white, green, blue 1. Starts with 4. The +1 gain 2 life. Add one of those, or add blue, red, or white to your mana pool. Spend it only to cast non-creature spells. -2, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard, you deal damage to the card's converted mana cost to a creature or planeswalker. -6, get that emblem we had. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 2 damage to any target. That's pretty sweet. And that's Mythic number 3. Actually, let's do a little bit of arrangement here. Slide those over, make room for more commons, and then we'll take out... Let's collapse all these piles and take out the mythics. You know, aside from the mythic, the We haven't actually gotten a rare alt art, but I mean, we've gotten some good rares, so can't complain about that. Forever Beast again. Titanith Rex. It's 11/11, and you can cycle it to put a trample counter on something. Trumpeting Gnar, we had gotten before, but here's our nice alt art, comic book art version. And our rare is another Triome. I believe we actually had that Triome as well. And we got a foil. Cunning Nightbonder. Okay, we got a Plummet, of course. They need to keep printing Plummet. Will the All Hunter. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn if it's blocking instead put counters on as an instant. Pretty good. Cycling. Ominous Seas. Whenever you draw a card, put a foreshadow counter on it. Remove 8 foreshadow counters to create an 8/8 blue Kraken. Cycling. That's pretty awesome. I've seen that in play in Arena. Whenever you cycle a card, Thundermane, whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 2 to deal 2 damage, gain 2 life. And then a rare Unpredictable Cyclone. If a cycling ability of another non-land card would choose you to draw a card, instead exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a card that shares a card type with the cycled card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, put the exiled cards in the bottom. Cycling. Seems, I mean, could be pretty cool. It's kind of a bit of a build up there, but Fighters 1, humans, human +1/+1 indestructible, non-human, and a non-human get +1/+1 indestructible. Neutralize, cycling counterspell. Regaleosaur, a dinosaur cat. When this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +2/+1 till end of turn. That's pretty good. And a Lava Brink Venturer. When it enters the battlefield, choose odd or even, and it gains protection from each converted mana cost of the chosen value. Dismal Backwater, and then shiny, common. Just realized that it's nice. The D&D ad on the back. It's pretty funny. Easy Prey, destroy something small. Valiant Rescuer, whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human token. There's a Regal Leosaur, the card we just saw, except now we are in fancy art. Allbosh the Prey Piercer, another companion. Starting deck contains only cards with odd converted mana costs. It's exactly, this is leaning really hard into Extinction Event, eh? If a source you control with an odd converted mana cost would deal damage to the permanent player, it deals double that instead. That's pretty great. So Blooming Sands. And then a shiny Bushmeat Poacher. Those wet markets, it's no good. Weaponize the monsters. Avian Oddity, when you cycle it, put flying on something. A Heal Bonder. And a Quartzwood Crasher. 6/6 Trample. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal damage to a player, create X An XX green dinosaur beast creature with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures did to a player. That could be okay. Looking for that new art. Lead the Stampede. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Reveal any creatures and put them in your hand. The rest on the bottom. Alt art Pouncing Shore Shark. Cunning Nightbonder. Drowned's Magistrate. Loving this card. New Hate Bears. Your opponent's 1/3 when your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hand. As you can see that getting a lot of play in some older formats as well, right? Soldier token. Another alt art Vulpikeet. There's another Bird Goat. Valiant Rescuer. Skybonder, I don't know if we've had that or not. 2/2 flying. Whenever creatures you control with flying have spells your opponents can cast that target this creature, costs two more. A Skycat Sovereign. 1/1 flying. It gets +1/+1 for each other creature with flying, and you can create white catbirds. Momentum Rumbler. When it attacks, if it doesn't have a first strike counter, it gets one. And if it has double strike, if it has a first strike, it gets a double strike until end of turn. Bastard Remembrance. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human token. And whenever a creature dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. So that's pretty cool. Footfall Creator. Enchant land, tap target creature gains trample and haste till end of turn. That's pretty good for a single red. And the Song of Creation. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Whenever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. That's worth it, I think. It could be worth it. We got a foil. Ooh, they do come in foil. Still haven't gotten a foil rare, but that is pretty sweet in foil. Crystal. Swallow Hole. Archipelagor. Alt art. Mutate. Whenever this creature mutates, tap up to X target creatures, where X is the number of times creatures mutated. Those creatures don't untap during their next untap phase. 7/7. That's pretty good. Put that down here. And a Dirge Bat. Mutate. 3/3 flying flash. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target creature an opponent or planeswalker an opponent controls. That's pretty huge. And we got a foil again. Oh, there we go. It's not. I shouldn't judge. I'll read. So, Mythos of Brokos. If blue black was spent to cast a spell, search your library for a card. Put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle your library, and then return up to 2 permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Migrating Greathorn in alt art. Keen Sight Mentor. Another Crystal. Sanctuary Smasher. And a Labyrinth Raptor. 2/2 Menace. Whenever creature you control with Menace becomes blocked, defending player sacrifices a creature blocking it. And you can bump Menace creatures. That's not bad. 6 packs left, and then the box topper. Another crystal. Boros crystal this time. Dire tactics. Exile human if you don't exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to the creature's toughness. That's not a bad removal. Glowstone Recluse bumps when it mutates. And then Mythos of Vadrak. Deals 5 damage divided amongst any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. If you spent white-blue, then until your next turn, those permanents can't attack or block or activate abilities. That's not bad. You could just do 1 across the board. Make sure to kind of take out or disable some stuff. Clash of the Titans. Pretty expensive for a fight, but I guess red doesn't really fight that much. General's Enforcer. Legendary humans you control have indestructible. Exile target creature from the graveyard if it was a creature, or target card if it was a creature, you get a 1/1 human. Amazing. Hornbash Mentor. When it enters the battlefield, put a trample counter on a non-human, and then you can bump trample or bump trampling cards. There's another mythic now. Cheville Bane of Monsters. 1/3 Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on target creature or permanent or planeswalker. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls the planeswalker or with a bounty counter dies, you gain 3 and draw a card. That's pretty sweet. I could see that being playable. Blue-black deck for sure. Tie that with some repeatable removal. There you go. Monster Step again. Howlbonder, 2/2 Menace. Creatures with menace creatures you control with menace can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Huntmaster Liger mutates. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures get +X on a turn where X is the number of times it's mutated. An Inspired Ultimatum. Target player gains 5 life. It deals 5 damage to any target, then you draw 5 cards. I don't know what these ultimatums are actually playable cost-wise, but I do love them. Altar Cloud Piercer. Flourishing Box. Whenever you cycle a card, put a +1 counter on it. Blitz is the Thunder Raptor again. Back for more again. And a Gem Razor. 4/4 Reach Trample Mutate. Whenever a creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. 2 more packs. Unbreakable Bond. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a lifelink counter on it. Sanctuary Lockdown. Humans get +1/+1. 2 tap, untap human to tap a target creature an opponent controls. There's an alt art Parcel Beast. Death's Oasis. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put the top 2 cards of your library into the graveyard. Then return a creature card with less converted to the graveyard to your hand. And 1 sacrifice, you gain life amongst, or equal to the greatest converted mana cost amongst creatures you control. That's okay. A bit convoluted. We have a foil as well. Foil Swamp. Okay. Hope y'all enjoyed this. This is the last pack. We'll do the box topper after this, of course. Last normal pack. Unbreakable Bond again. Another Crystal. Another Thundermare. And the rare. We got Imore, another companion. I don't know how many there are, but this might be all of them, right? We got a bunch. If each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type, you can use it. As it enters the battlefield, select a card type. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. And then, this is the big one. Ah, there we are. Really don't know what to expect out of here, so we're just gonna, let's go. Angrius, Armored Killer. It's a Gem Razor. When it mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. Shiny, shiny. Cool. Yeah, generally, quite like it. I absolutely love this alternate art. It looks gorgeous and on foil. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all next set.